The following footage was captured by the CCTV cameras in a hotel and discovered by Paul, one of the facility's security officers. This wasn't your typical hotel. It was specifically designed to accommodate elderly residents who were nearing the end of their lives, offering them an affordable place to stay close to their loved ones. Adjacent to the property was a graveyard, where families could opt to bury their relatives who passed away at the hotel. This proximity to the graveyard, however, seemed to invite something more sinister, as you'll soon see.
Oh, and it says they hang out and dwell around graveyards. And you know the story on that, right? When Mike hired those two native spiritual people to come here and do their stuff, they said it's not the hotel that's haunted, it's the graveyard.
Oh.
So this service road here where Danny and I used to park, that's the old Stony Plain Road. Do you really think they, when they dug up all the bodies here, that was a good one, moved them over to the graveyard?
They dug up the bodies and what?
Before this hotel.
Without even zooming in, you can clearly spot the ghostly figure gliding through the corridor near the chairs, exactly as Paul had described. For months, the hotel management had been bringing in local spiritual practitioners, claiming they could cleanse the property of spirits, but they never explained why to the staff. It was only after this incident that the pieces of the puzzle started to come together. Still, some might dismiss this as a camera glitch or a one-off anomaly, but Paul knew he needed more evidence to prove what was happening. Eventually, he got exactly that.
See him?
I saw it.
Hey, Noel. What's up?
Oh yeah, I see it again.
Yeah, let's try and sit in the chair. Sometimes he'll stay there for a minute.
He is. How do you know this?
Well, because Danny and I caught him earlier when Danny was in the games room locking up. I freaked the fuck out because I saw it. And then I tried to do a video review to record it and it wouldn't let me.
Why is it still there?
Well, because if you read about it, they get caught in a vortex. And they linger around for...
Strangely, the spirit sat on one of the chairs before fading away like smoke. It was an undeniably eerie sight. Paul took this footage straight to his boss, who, to Paul's surprise, wasn't shocked at all. The boss admitted that the practitioners were brought in specifically to rid the hotel of a ghost he had personally seen multiple times during the night. On a quiet Sunday evening last year, a man named Jorge was home alone when he decided to film a video for his small group of followers. Jorge had spent years trying to become a full-time influencer, but his efforts never seemed to pay off. Each day followed the same routine: waking up, working at a local store, and coming home to make videos. But after years of trying, Jorge had reached his limit. For 2 weeks, he worked on a script to announce his decision to quit content creation for good. However, something, or someone, clearly didn't want him to give up.
So, I am a little exhausted, but I have been doing things back and forth. I have not been having any rest. I've been up and down. So I've been taking care of things around the house, and yeah, I've been. Guys, this is not something that I'm making up. You fucking see this shit? There's literally nobody in here, guys. Literally nobody. You gotta be fucking with me, huh? This is fucking ridiculous. This is fucking insane. Oh, fuck.
Out of nowhere, items in the kitchen began moving on their own, leaving Jorge completely stunned. Startled, he left the room and sat in his living room, trying to make sense of what had just happened. After much thought, he came to a conclusion. This was a sign. To him, it was the universe telling him to keep chasing his dream of being a content creator. Since that night, Jorge hasn't skipped a single upload, convinced that the paranormal event was meant to inspire him. In a previous video on this channel, we explored footage shared by Roland with me, a YouTuber famous for going out of his way to document supernatural activity. In one of his 2-hour videos, Roland and his friend Omar decided to visit several of the most haunted locations in the United States. Each destination lived up to its eerie reputation, and the duo managed to capture some truly chilling moments. They compiled their findings into a montage, and today we'll examine 3 of the most notable clips. The first took place in the living room of a notoriously haunted house at around 11 p.m. It's worth noting that the wall clock in the room had been broken for over a decade, explaining why the time displayed on it was incorrect.
If there is a spirit here that is shaking this clock, let me know. And why are you messing with my clock? Let me know that you are here. Show me some kind of sign. Do something. Did you just make the clock move? Alright, what was that? Alright, that clock just literally moved. Did you just make the clock move? Show me a sign, do something. Holy f***. Alright, that time, holy sh**.
Not only did the clock vibrate while still hanging on the wall, but its hands also began spinning rapidly, which was impossible given that the batteries had been removed years ago. As unsettling as this was, it was only the start of what Roland would encounter. Things took a darker turn as the night progressed. After finishing their investigation of the living room, Roland decided to check out the house's entrance to see if that area was active. Omar, however, confidently claimed that it was the least eventful spot in the entire building and that they wouldn't find anything unusual. That assumption was quickly proven wrong.
What in the hell? I know that was not just open. That was shut. Something in here. Came from in here somewhere.
To their shock, Roland began hearing strange noises coming from the kitchen, despite Omar standing right next to him. With such a high level of activity throughout the house, the duo decided to wrap up their investigation and leave, as they had already captured plenty of material for their video in a short amount of time. However, their next stop was the most unexpected location of all, Roland's own home. If you've watched some of our earlier videos, you might already know that Roland's house is notorious for being extremely haunted, which isn't surprising considering the countless haunted places he has explored. It seems inevitable that some spirits followed him home. The next clip we'll show you was captured on a camera shortly after Roland and Omar returned from their latest investigation. It occurred just 4 minutes after they stepped inside. The footage shows a spirit seemingly tampering with Roland's luxury car, turning it on and off repeatedly. It's as if the ghost had taken a liking to the vehicle's lavishness. Thanks to their association with horror movies, grandfather-style clocks, regardless of size, are often linked to ghosts and sinister happenings. The clock in the clip you're about to see followed this tradition. Though it was small in size, the fear it could inspire was immense, as you're about to witness. This footage was filmed in Germany by Jürgen, an ordinary man with a routine life. He worked a standard 9-to-5 job and spent his evenings hanging out with friends. However, the chilling event that unfolded in his home would change his otherwise mundane life forever.
Leute, ich schwöre euch bei Gott, diese Tür von dieser Uhr, ne? Die ist eben einfach aufgegangen. Ich wollte mich gerade schlafen legen, auf einmal ist die aufgegangen. Die ganzen Tage ist die nicht aufgegangen und jetzt gerade hat die sich einfach geöffnet, Digga. Bro, ich kack mir in die Hose fast. Wenn hier irgendwas in diesem Raum ist, dann macht diese Tür auf. Wenn hier irgendein Geist oder so drin ist und du mich hören kannst, dann mach diese Tür auf. Bro, ich schwöre bei Gott, ich schwöre auf meine Mutter, hier ist keine Schnur oder so, nicht, dass ihr denkt, ich verarsche euch, Bruder.
You don't need to understand German to grasp the bizarre occurrence in this clip. Despite being firmly shut, the clock's door swung open entirely on its own, much to Jürgen's shock. Thankfully, he had his camera rolling at the time, capturing the unnerving moment. Without this footage, no one would have believed his story, and the clock might still be hanging on his wall. Ultimately, his girlfriend convinced him to destroy it, putting an end to the unsettling ordeal. You might be wondering why this young woman is lying on her bed, looking absolutely terrified while recording her thoughts. Let's clear that up. Her name is Celeste, and she had recently moved out of her parents' house to start fresh in a rented home. The house was small but ideal for her, conveniently located close to her family so they could help in case of an emergency. Her parents didn't think anything of it when they made this offer. It was just a nice gesture. Little did they know that Celeste would soon face an emergency they couldn't possibly assist with. The home had no history of paranormal activity and had glowing reviews from previous tenants. The landlord took great pride in maintaining the property, but he wasn't a spiritual protector, and apparently, a ghost found its way in.
Plebes, no me lo van a creer, pero otra vez son... La neta me estoy muriendo de miedo. Sí, me ven la cara así, pero neta me estoy muriendo de miedo. Es la 1:33, otra vez. De la madrugada. Y se escuchan otra vez cosas, pero no lo grabé, pues no, o sea, tampoco voy a estar grabando de que no mames, pero no lo grabé, pero otra vez se escuchan cosas. Pero la neta, no mames, no sé qué voy a hacer ahorita. No. No mames, no sé qué hacer ya, no sé qué hacer. O sea, literal se escuchó donde abrieron una puerta. Le tengo que poner seguro a la puerta de esto. Se lo juro que estoy temblando. No me lo van a creer, estoy temblando. En las piernas estoy... No mames. ¿Qué pido? Yo creo que... Ay, no. Pero ya me da miedo ir a grabar, la verdad. Pero estoy acostada aquí, literal no hay nadie. No sé qué voy a hacer, me da miedo ir a ver. Yo creo
For reasons she couldn't immediately understand, Celeste began hearing strange noises coming from within the house. Naturally, this left her shaken. She initially suspected a burglar might have broken in, but thankfully, this wasn't the case. What she would soon discover was far worse. How did she figure out the true cause of the disturbances? Her solution was simple but unwise. She decided to search the house unarmed.
Estoy acostada aquí, literal no hay nadie. No sé qué voy a hacer, me da miedo ir a ver. Yo creo que me voy a parar a ver. Me da miedo, me da miedo, me da miedo. Puta madre. Ni modo. No mames, no mames. Eso no estaba tirado ahorita. El cereal se supone que estaba allá arriba. No mames, la neta, no mames. No, vete a la verga. Vete a la verga, vete a la verga. Please, en serio. Vete a la verga, vete a la verga. No escuchan, neta, están abriendo la puerta de la casa. No. Si escucharan eso, se lo juro que se estuvieran muriendo de miedo. Se lo juro, se lo juro. Se los juro que abrieron la puerta. Estoy segurísima que voy a abrir y va a estar la puerta abierta. Pero no sé qué hacer, ya no sé qué hacer. No sé cómo enseñarles. Les enseñaría mi pierna cómo está toda así cuando se pone de pelo de gallina, no sé cómo le digan, pero te lo juro me estoy muriendo de miedo. Y hablo despacito porque me da miedo. No mames, güey, no mames, está abierta la puta puerta. Please, lo creo que me da mucho miedo. Please, la neta no sé qué hacer ya me cansé, ya me dio miedo, no sé qué voy a hacer. Ay, no. Voy a cerrar la puerta. No hay nadie, o sea, no hay nadie. Voy a cerrar la puerta y le voy a poner seguro porque la neta se supone, no hay nadie, literal, no hay nadie en plebes. O sea, no sé qué voy a hacer. Plebes, la neta yo vine a prender el foco. La neta voy a dejar grabando aquí para ver quién es, porque la neta ya me está dando mucho miedo y yo quiero saber quién es. Aquí voy a dejar el celular grabando aquí. A ver si capta algo. Porque la neta ya me harté de que estén pasando cosas y no sepa qué es. La voy a dejar grabando. Y me voy a ir al cuarto. Vamos a ver. Me voy a armar de valor y vamos a ver. No mames. 16 minutos. Yo quiero saber lo que realmente pasó. No se ve nada. Pero fíjense. ¿Qué pedo? ¿Por qué hace eso la cámara? Por ahí se escucha un ruido. Como por ahí. No mames, no mames, no mames. No mames, no mames. No mames, güey, no mames. ¿Qué vergas es eso? ¿Qué vergas es eso? Me está dando miedo. Te lo juro que estoy temblando. ¡No! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! Plebes, me estoy muriendo dentro, estoy.
Earlier that day, Celeste had placed a box of food on top of the fridge when she got home, but when she entered the kitchen, the box was lying on the floor. This wasn't the most alarming part, though. There were no signs of a break-in, which meant that whatever was moving her belongings was still inside the house. Convinced the culprit was a ghost, Celeste wasted no time calling her parents to come pick her up. She promptly wrote a letter to her landlord, explaining that she was terminating her lease. Even though this decision came with a hefty penalty fee for breaking the agreement so early, Celeste didn't mind. To her, escaping the haunted house was worth every penny. On the night of July 21st, 2024 in Spain, a man named Juan experienced a series of events that would leave a lasting impact on him. He was relaxing in his bedroom when something happened that he would never forget. In the aftermath, Juan admitted that he now refuses to sleep without a nightlight and has developed a newfound fear of the dark. Although some people tease him about it, calling him childish, his fear is entirely understandable given what he endured.
Mi gente, miren, me encuentro en mi casa. Miren que no hay absolutamente nada. Y me encuentro como medio raro. No sé qué es lo que está pasando. Pero en verdad, no sé qué es lo que está pasando, mi gente, en mi casa hoy. Miren, señores, miren. Me siento como que no sé, como que hay algo raro en mi habitación hoy. Por favor, necesito que me ayuden. Hoy siento esto. Miren, estoy solo en mi casa. Miren, estoy solo en mi casa, papá Dios. Y siento como que se mueve toda la cosa. Oh, Dios mío, se apagó la luz. Necesito a alguien que me ayude. Oh, Dios mío. Señores, ¿quién está viendo esto? Por favor, compártanlo. Miren, estoy solo en mi habitación, pero siento como no sé, como que se caen las cosas. Oh, papá Dios. Señores, miren. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder, señores. Recuerden que me encuentro aquí en mi casa, mi gente, en el cementerio Cristo Redentor.
Frankly, it's hard to imagine anyone remaining indifferent to the dark after living through such a terrifying ordeal. Once the chaos subsided, Juan took extreme measures to rid himself of any lingering reminders of the incident. He gathered every single item that had moved during the event and loaded them into a skip he rented for a week. He then hired a team to transport the skip to the local dump, where everything inside was burned. Among the discarded items were clothes worth nearly $900, but Juan wasn't concerned about the cost. To him, it was a small price to pay to ensure the ghost was gone from his life for good. Installing cameras in a child's room has become a widely practiced trend among parents across the nation, driven by their constant desire to ensure their children's safety. Most of the time, the most shocking thing captured on these cameras is a baby attempting to climb out of their crib. However, occasionally the footage reveals something far more chilling. Meet the Hearst family, a young couple with one child, Layla. Both parents were deeply devoted to Layla and worked hard to keep her safe, but it seemed that an unwelcome spirit had other plans.
What's the matter?
I just want to sleep with you now.
Initially, it wasn't clear what was wrong, and the incident seemed like nothing more than a bad dream. However, Layla's father spent hours meticulously reviewing the footage, determined to find out what had disturbed his little girl. What he discovered sent shivers down his spine. A woman's face was faintly visible near the wardrobe. The image was incredibly unsettling. At first, it was plausible to dismiss the figure as a trick of the light or shadows, especially since fear often fuels vivid imaginations. Unfortunately, this wasn't just paranoia. For those unfamiliar, orbs are small, dust-like particles often believed to indicate the presence of a spirit. Seeing orbs in a room is widely interpreted as confirmation of a ghost's activity. Since that night, Layla has refused to sleep alone and now only rests in her parents' room, a rule that remains firmly in place to this day. On December 30th, 2023, a horrifying event unfolded for a recently formed couple. They had been together for only 6 months before deciding to start a family, and 9 months later, their baby was born. What should have been a peaceful night turned into a nightmare when they heard unsettling noises from the baby monitor. The infant's cries sounded strained, prompting the mother to urge her husband to check the baby cam. Their swift decision turned out to be incredibly fortunate, because if they hadn't intervened, the situation could have escalated dangerously. See for yourself. This is easily one of the most disturbing videos ever featured on this channel, largely due to how vulnerable the infant was. The ghost displayed no restraint. It yanked the poor child without any regard. Typically, we present stories in chronological order, but to provide full context for the baby's ordeal, we need to revisit an earlier event from the same family, captured just 8 days before the incident. Watch closely. Strange noises echoed from the baby's room, but at the time, the parents dismissed them, assuming the sounds were coming from nearby construction work. Tragically, their decision not to investigate sooner may have contributed to the horrifying events of the later clip. If only they had acted on the earlier signs, perhaps the nightmare could have been avoided.